Hello students, welcome to MJC Learning. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss the subject Secretarial Practice for Standard 12th. And also, we will learn the most important chapter, Sources of Corporate Finance. Students, in the previous session, we learned what is share, what are the two types of share, and equity share with its feature. So, in our today's session, we are going to continue with the new subtopic under the share, that is the second type of share. Preference shares. Students, we all are familiar with this kind of share, as we already studied the meaning of preference share in the last session. But before going in depth with its feature, let us recap what does it mean. The shares that carry preferential rights in respect of payment of dividend and repayment of capital. यहाँ प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स को ये बोला गया है कि ये वो शेयर्स कहलाते हैं जिनके पास प्रेफरेंशियल राइट्स मीन्स पहला हक होता है पेमेंट ऑफ डिविडेंड के लिए एंड रीपेमेंट ऑफ कैपिटल के लिए जब कभी भी कंपनी डिक्लेयर कर रही है उनके शेयर होल्डर्स को. So students, those shares which carry preferential rights are known as preference shares. Moving ahead, features of preference shares. Students, there are 10 features of preference shares which we are going to study in detail. The very first feature is preference for dividend. Preference shares have first charge on the company's dividend. This is true. Preference means pehla hak. Dividend, as you all know, it is an return on investment to the shareholder. In simple term, it is a profit for the shareholder. Hence, this point means whenever the company is paying dividend, it is first payable to the preference shareholders before it is paid to the equity shareholders. Second point, preference for repayment of capital. They have preference over equity shareholders in respect of repayment of capital. As you all know student, preference means pehla hak. Repayment means which is paid back. Capital means the money which is invested in the business. So student, this point means comparing to the both shares, that is equity shares and preference shares. Preference shares have first right to receive the capital whenever company is paying back to their shareholders. To make this 2 point easier, there is an example which is based on payment of dividend and repayment of capital. So students, जब भी कंपनी उनके शेयर होल्डर्स को कैपिटल रीपे कर रही है या डिविडेंड पे कर रही है, तो इक्विटी शेयर्स और प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स में इसमें से सबसे पहला हक प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स का होता है. Third point is fixed return. They get fixed rate of dividend and it is predetermined. Predetermined means जो पहले से ही डिसाइड किया गया है, which is already decided. Hence, this point means the rate of dividend is not fluctuating, means changing. Like equity shares, preference shares get fixed rate of dividend. There is an example which will make this point much easier to understand. Company has made profit of rupees 10 lakhs, where they are distributing dividend at 10%. Students, as you all know, the rate of dividend for preference share is fixed and it does not changes. So here that rate of dividend will say to that 10%. ये पॉइंट ये कहता है कि कंपनी को चाहे कितना ही प्रॉफिट हो, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs या 50 lakhs। लेकिन प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स को जो ऑलरेडी डिविडेंड पे प्राइस डिसाइड किया है वही रेट से उन्हें डिविडेंड दिया जाएगा। नेक्स्ट फीचर इज नेचर ऑफ कैपिटल। प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स आर redeemable shares. Redeemable means which are paid back. This point means the money received from issuing preference shares is refunded after certain period of time. That's why preference shares are said to be not permanent capital of company. Fifth point is market value. Preference shares market value is fixed. This means market value of preference shares does not changes because the rate of dividend of preference share is fixed. Sixth point is risk. Risk means khatra. Preference shares are subject to less risk. This is because they carry preferential rights, and that's why they are said to be the safe capital. Seventh feature, voting rights. They do not enjoy normal voting right. This point means preference shares do not enjoy normal voting right as comparing to the equity shares, such as they cannot vote, they cannot participate in the management of company like equity shares do. Next feature is face value. Face value means the actual cost of the share, the actual price of the share. The face value of preference share is relatively higher, that is rupees 100 and so on. This point means if we compare the both shares, equity shares and preference shares face value is higher than equity shares. Rights issue or bonus issue. Preference shares holders are not entitled. Not entitled means not eligible for right issue and bonus shares whenever company declaring to their shareholders. Last feature, that is 10th feature, is nature of investors. Student, investor is said to be that person who invests his money in the business. The investor who are cautious. Cautious means very careful about safety of the investment, invest in preference shares. This point means the investor who are not taking risk, who do not want to take risk, invest their money in the preference shares. So students, these are the 10 features of preference shares. Thank you.